Solenoid Rebuild, the same solenoid we use on XPs, TORREXXs, and our AQUAVAIREs. 3/4 inch ASCO Solenoid Rebuild. First thing you want to do is make sure the power is off. You'll open up the Y1 electrical Y, undo the wire nuts. There'll be 3 wire nuts, the power wires to the solenoid and the ground wire to the solenoid. With those connections undone, you will loosen the Y1 or the GUM1 union, the conduit union, and in order to lift off the coil of the solenoid. To lift off the coil, you'll use a small screwdriver and release the red ASCO button. Set it aside, you'll need to reuse it. Then using the small screwdriver, you will edge in under the data plate, pry it up to release. Remove the data plate. At this time, you'll remove the coil and the tension spring. These are all parts you want to save. To access the diaphragm, you will use a 7/16 end wrench and loosen up the 4 bolts holding the top to the solenoid. You got to take caution when doing this. There may be pressure inside the line, so you'll want to just loosen and relieve any pressure inside the solenoid. Once the pressure is removed, you can go ahead and remove all 4 bolts. Set them aside, you'll be reusing them again. Slowly take the top off the solenoid valve and you'll expose the diaphragm. Algas-SDI uses a backflow solenoid valve. It allows flow back through the solenoid even when it's de-energized. You'll notice a little bleed hole in the diaphragm. That is usually at about 2 o'clock towards the outlet side of the valve. So you'll remove the old diaphragm, reach in, remove the old O-ring. With your new kit, which is usually part number 40287, everything you have to rebuild the kit, the solenoid is inside the kit. Use caution when opening the plastic with a knife. You do not want to cut the new diaphragm or the O-rings. So you'll cut the plastic to get to the parts. So inside the kit, new O-ring, new diaphragm, new tower, and the spring. So first thing you do is take the O-ring, put the O-ring in the O-ring groove, make sure it's seated properly. Take your diaphragm, remove the packing paper, look for the hole, place it at about the 2 o'clock position on the outlet side of the solenoid. Then you can take your top, make sure it's clean. You will want to open up the little plastic bag and install the new spring. This allows the solenoid to close. Put the spring into the center hole. Take your top. It can go on any direction. Slide your top down over. Take your 4 bolts that you removed in the beginning and just snug them up with your fingers. While it is snugged down, we're going to want to replace the tower also. That's where the coil rides up and down when the solenoid energizes. So take a crescent wrench and we will loosen the tower. There's also an O-ring down here. So we'll remove the tower. There's the coil. Remove the O-ring. On the new tower, there is a new O-ring. Make sure it's clean. Take it, put it down inside, line it up. Take your new tower, it's a straight thread, so the O-ring's the seal. There's no need to put any lubricant on the threads. Make sure the spring is still in the pickup coil and screw it down and tighten. Just snug it up. The O-ring's the seal. At this point you can continue tightening up the 7/16 bolts in a wheel pattern across. Okay, so the solenoid is back together. You would take your original spring clip, or the kit comes with a new style spring clip. It doesn't matter if the old one's in good shape, you put that over the tower. Take your coil, the metal is down. This is the top, this is the bottom. Take your coil, slide it over the tower. Take your nameplate. You'll put it on and slide it into, oops, go the other way. Slide it into place. That helps keep the coil on. If you've saved your original red ASCO red hat button, you can install it at this time. If you didn't, the clip that comes in the new solenoid kit. Kind of hard to get on, but they will work if you've lost the original spring clip. Get the idea, use the original spring clip. Okay, at this point the solenoid's rebuilt. You would connect your conduit back up. Make sure the wires are connected, remembering the sequence of which wires are which. Replace your wire nuts to one of the power wires to one of the red wires coming from the solenoid. The other power wire to the other red wire coming from the solenoid. And then if it's equipped with the green ground, you would hook up the ground wire to the solenoid. Make sure the wires are inside the Y1. You can put a little never sees on the threads for the cap, make it easier to take apart next time. And the solenoids rebuilt. So, depending on the condition of the old diaphragm, oils, mercaptans, and the propane can make the diaphragm brittle and hard. If it's not in too bad a shape, this kit may get you by in an emergency, or if it's in really bad shape, you just throw it away. So that is what it takes to rebuild the solenoid we use on our TORREXX, our XP, our Qs, and a lot of our vapor airs. Very simple to rebuild.